NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Bel Air, Florida, it's final round coverage of the Pelican Women's Championship presented by Konica Minolta and Raymond James. And for the second year, this Pelican Golf Club has hosted the world's best in women's golf by Clearwater Harbor in the Tampa St. Pete area. We're in Bel Air, this 3 square mile plot. The Pelican Golf Club opened almost 100 years ago. A Donald Ross design. It's been refurbished in the last couple of years, reopened as Pelican Golf Club, and from all over Tampa St. Pete and the Sunshine State, they have come to watch the world's best vie for that trophy. Se-Young Kim won it last year in the inaugural playing. Se-Young is trying to do it again and extend her win streak that goes back to her rookie year of 2015. Playing for so much this week, not just the trophy, but players trying to keep their LPGA Tour cards for next year. Some trying to get into next week's season finale. 60 players only playing in the CME Group Tour Championship. Lauren Coughlin is one of those players trying to move her way from outside the top 100 inside and keep her card. Judy and I are joined for this fun Sunday by Tom Abbott, and on the course, Karen Stupples and Jerry Foltz. Here we go, the final group in the 8th fairway, and those are the two tied for the lead. Nelly Korda, world number 1. Lexi Thompson, a dominant decade on the LPGA Tour with 11 wins. And take a look at the final group breakdown. They're joined by Jennifer Kupcho, looking for her first LPGA Tour title in this, her 3rd season. Nelly's number 1 in the world. Lexi's been as high as number 2. This is the lowest she's been in the rankings in 8 years. Number 13. That tells you how great she's been. Nelly's won 3 times this year. Not shown there, the Olympic gold medal. Lexi with 11 wins, the last of which was the summer of 2019. Incredibly, 40 starts for Lexi since her last victory. Jennifer Kupcho in that final group. And Jerry Foltz is with our last 3 ball.
Yes, on another glorious day, albeit a bit cooler than the previous 3. Still nice out here. Light breeze blowing about 5 to 10 out of the north, and clear skies. It's going to be a fun day. Great crowds as well. Not such a fun day thus far for Jennifer Kupcho. Over par already on the round, and this is a nearly impossible position. She only has 155 to get to the front of the green, but that lip is a serious issue. Especially going out of that with a hybrid. That just caught the lip and nosedived right along the ropes.
Yeah, I thought she was set up really to try to cut it, to get it up faster and so on, but maybe not solid contact. You know, it was a 50-50 thing at best.
Now Nelly.
Ball above her feet. They'll be neck and neck all day when they hit driver, Nelly and Lexi. Lexi got the best of her this hole by 6 yards. Breeze out of the right with a little bit of hurt. That's turning left of the flag a fair bit.
Flag stick way back and on the right side of the green.
To the 9th, Tom.
This is the defending champion, Se-Young Kim. She's still got a good chance here. That is going to give her a chance for her 3rd birdie of the day. Get her to within 1 of the lead as we go back over to the 8th.
And Lexi's approach.
All right, see you shot.
152 yards from a downhill side hill lie. Going with 8-iron. There's some hurt in this breeze. But this green slopes away from the fairway. Last year, when it was playing downwind, it was almost impossible to hit this green. Not the case this week, being a little softer and having a little hurt from the wind.
You really need to keep that ball just left of the hole location, don't you, Jerry? Because it falls off to the right.
She's coachable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
11 wins. The first of them came before she even joined the LPGA Tour. She was 16. Now trying to win again for a 12th time. Maria Fassi linked so closely with Jennifer Kupcho from their collegiate and amateur days. Here she is at the 10th. What a second half she's had, Judy.
Yeah, we have to give a little bit of the credit to Stacy Lewis, who had long, hard talks with her while they played together in the Dow Team Championship.
Yeah, final full field event of 2021. So much at stake. We talked about it when the week began. And Judy, there's different kinds of pressure for different players here. You start at the top with Nelly Korda trying to win for the 4th time this year on the LPGA Tour, along with that gold medal. Lexi, 11 wins, superstar for a decade. She hasn't won in almost 2 years.
They're similar players, and yet they're not similar players at all. But it is really something to see them vying for the win here this week. Nelly Korda with a lot more at stake than just a win here this week. But to see them play alongside each other, to see how they brought the fans out, because, you know, we need a rivalry like this. We need a back and forth between a couple of the greatest players in the game today. So that's really fun to watch. But you use the word pressure, and I say pressure is whatever means an awful lot to you. So these two play with a lot of pressure today, but I think they have a lot of fun doing it. There's some other players playing with a great deal of pressure for other things that are at stake, whether it's end of the year honors or whether it's end of the year, what am I going to do next year? Am I going to get to play next year? Am I going to get to play next week? So whatever that is, it is really meaningful and important to your career today. That's the kind of pressure you're playing under. So everybody's got something going on here, and not everybody's driving away with a Lamborghini, but so far 3 people are.
Yeah, are you not entertained? I
Yeah.
mean, whatever you want to see. Superstars battling it out, journey women battling for their cards, players like Nelly and Jen Young battling for Rolex Player of the Year. It's a points-based system. You only get points if you finish in the top 10, 30 for a win. So Nelly could leapfrog Jen Young with a victory this week. Both of them, of course, will play next week at the CME Group Tour Championship. Jen Young Co. has won 4 times in her last 7 starts going back to the first week of July. And she has played brilliantly today with 4 birdies and a bogey. She's tied for 10th.
She is such an honest person in an interview when you speak to her and so on. So I believe her. She says, I really don't look at numbers. I didn't even know that I won 4 of the last 7 times. Now, you can't always take everyone exactly for their word, but you can this young woman. Did not behave off of the fringe downhill slope.
She was Player of the Year in 2019. She's trying to win it again. Last year, she made her U.S. debut for 2020 at this event. Finished tied for 36th. And then from there, a 6th in Dallas, a 2nd at the U.S. Women's Open, just to get into the Tour Championship. And then she won it and won the money title, incredibly, in 4 starts. We're at the 8th again for our final group. This is Nelly.
Nelly putting out of turn here as Jennifer Kupcho still having some issues, but giving her a chance to take a look at what will be her 4th shot. This one downhill left to right early, but not much, and then it falls back to the left the rest of the way. Good speed, should be pretty much a stress-free par.
Lexi will have a putt to take the lead, first to 9.
This is Christina Kim. This is to go out in 1 under par.
Made a really nice save at the last hole, Tom, but has yet to get anything really going so far.
Aaron Stupple's out there following that penultimate 3-ball of Christina Kim, Se-Young Kim, and Patty Tavatanakit.
Christina played yesterday, Tom, with Nelly Korda, and like most of the rest of us, she was wowed.
I'm a little sad that I'm not going to be paired with Nelly, because can we talk about her for a minute? Like,
yes,
this was
please.
my first time playing in a competitive round with her, period, let alone since she's turned #1 in the world. And I don't care who's out there. I might be her biggest fan. Like, in terms of as a human, obviously her golf, you can hand her a frying pan. She'll be able to do anything with any club, you know. But as a human being, like the grace that she has, she was super patient with me because I was like, let's talk. And she was just totally open to it. Like she was, you know, she's got a beautiful laugh, a beautiful smile, and just like a really, really warm heart. So I'll just like girl crush. Like I'm absolutely just in awe of her. Like it just, and I told her, I said it almost brought a tear to my eye knowing that like the future of the game, the next generation is in her hands. Like it's just like I almost swore it's freaking awesome.
Yes, echoing our sentiments. Nelly was 4 when Christina joined the LPGA Tour back in 2003, and Nelly said, yeah, it was a blast to play with Christina yesterday.
Get a little clue there why she is liked by so many people.
Here's her older sister Jessica Korda, second at the 11th. It's a good shot today. That swale on the right does come into play a little bit with that whole location. Se-Young Kim now this at the 9th to get it to 17 under. Just turned a little more than she would have thought, but it's going to be 2 under par for the front 9. 35-35, the 2 pars here. It's a par 70, just 2 par 5s on the golf course. A little bit of breeze out there on this Sunday afternoon as we go to the 8th.
Veterans Day week here. Lexi Thompson does a lot of work for military charities. Wears the pin on her golf shirt. She's got this putt to take the lead back.
Really grinded her and Will to caddy on what way this might break, if any. It's uphill, gently. Just whatever breaks there is kind of minimal, and you want to guess right. Oftentimes you look for something more than what is there. But haven't seen her putt this good in a long time. I know you've echoed it yesterday and all week, Judy, other than perhaps the Solheim Cup. It's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, we will continue to talk about this seemingly new touch and rhythm to a stroke. Nothing wrong with the putt. Nothing wrong with the putt other than it just snuck to the right when she didn't see it. But that's when you can be pleased about the putt that you rolled. You can be pleased about the way you saw it, and you would not know that that little tiny break was there until you saw the putt roll.
We remain tied, Lexi and Nelly at 18 under. Lydia Ko, she's just 3 shots back as she plays the 10th.
That is stuck on the hill and not stuck on the hill.
Lydia Ko is in line to win the Vare Trophy, even though she is 4th on tour in scoring average. That's because you have to play a minimum of 70 rounds. Lydia wasn't planning to play this week. She played in Saudi Arabia on the Ladies European Tour last week, but when she realized that she wouldn't have enough rounds to win the Vare Trophy, she did commit to this week. She'll get 4 rounds this week to get her to 69, and then she'll have the 4 rounds of the no-cut CME Group Tour Championship next week. And she is widening her lead over In-Gee Chun entering the week with this terrific play.
Yeah, the number 70 rounds has been there for a long time with the LPGA, and you know, you can say, well, this is the 28th tournament of the year. 7 tournaments did not happen. That is a big player when you evaluate all that.
And Nelly would have won it, but she's not going to have enough rounds despite playing all over the world. As for par, Nelly had the 3 putt at the 2nd. Lexi just a 1.5 feet or so.
The grip change started a lot of this good putting much earlier this year. And we highlighted that grip change yesterday. But the putting makes Lexi Thompson look like a different kind of player.
She's averaging 5 fewer putts this week than she has all season. One reason she's tied for the lead. Beautiful look from high above the 9th. Chris Chanda He's in the plane high above all week long, bringing you these spectacular shots.
Coming towards the end of the front nine. And the majority of the crowd out there gathered around this 3-ball. And no surprises there. What a great show they're putting on. There were a lot of people out there yesterday, but then we had that very short, sharp shower and people scampered away to take cover. I don't think that's going to be the case today, Jerry.
No, not at all. Only 130 yards. It's still a really tough hole to get to with a pitching wedge. It's just on the upwind side, 10-mile-per-hour wind out of the right, and a couple of little tiny ridges around it. The one to the left of the hole can help. Right where this is landing.
Yeah, good feed down. Just had a little too much spin on it. There's a couple of little knobs in the middle of the green. And the flag today cut on the right side of those. Humps and bumps in this putting green. And this hole can play wildly different in yardage depending on where they move the tee. They've moved the tee up a little bit. Moved it way up yesterday. It played only 94 yards. Now Nelly.
Versatile little par 3 it is. Yeah, just a pitching wedge here also for Nelly. And as always, just gets on with it. No dawdling around. This one hanging a little right. Not much.
Oh yeah, it's going to feed off the bunker. Good shot. And Nelly was saying yesterday she needs to stay aggressive today, and I think we'll see plenty of aggressive iron shots. The golf course has been set up short once again. It was very short yesterday. It's a little bit longer today, but it's right there for the taking. Here's Jessica Cord, a little bit of movement left to right in this putt. Just moved at the end, so great chance for Jessica there. Goes missing. She's going to stay at 9 under. She's had all pars, 11 straight pars to start this final day.
Lydia Ko to get within 2.
She won last week in the Middle East on very similar greens to these. I don't think it's a big change at all to have come here. The biggest change would have been the travel.
Yeah. She played in Korea and Saudi Arabia, now here at the last moment committing.
This is Lauren Coughlin for a bogey. Now this is an interesting story. Lauren is battling away to try and keep her card for next year. Now both show red, but you've got to remember that 100 is the cutoff not to go to the Q school. She was a Monday qualifier, shot 68 at TPC Tampa Bay to get in, and there are 2 players we're keeping our eyes on, trying to battle away to make it into next year on tour and avoid that Q series. Lauren Coughlin and Stephanie Meadow, and the way they're playing right now, both have moved inside of the top 100 in the race to the CME Globe, so we'll keep an eye on that. Stephanie Meadows coming towards the end of her round, so she'll be finishing up shortly, and Lauren Coughlin has put in a very fine performance this week. Let's go out to 12.
And at that par 3, the second shot for Caroline Inglis in her 3rd full season on the LPGA Tour. You don't get a Lamborghini for that. It does move you inside the top 10 if you're Caroline Inglis, looking for her career best finish. Tie for 10th has been that so far.
She shot 64 yesterday.
Birdie putts for our leaders of the 9th in a moment.
Back here in the final round of the Pelican Women's Championship. We're in Bel Air, Florida, in the greater Tampa Bay area, pretty close to Clearwater, on this old Donald Ross golf course that has been redesigned and renovated over the last several years. Now Lexi Thompson to take the solo lead, maybe albeit shortly.
A little bit downhill, but another one of those putts. I stood behind it for a good while and couldn't see any obvious break. They studied it closely as well. It's minimal.
Drifted.
But she had it set up just a touch to the left and never got it off on that line.
Out in 2 over par. She might well be trailing walking to the 10th, because Nelly Korda has a really good look at Birdie.
not given this a second thought. She's had plenty of time to read it. Standing on a little bit of a contrasting slope to keep it from moving left early, but it might just wiggle that way at the end. Although the breeze could be a factor from the left.
Yeah, she knew it. So Lexi goes out in 2 under, Nelly goes out in 3 under, and Nelly leads by 1 at 19 under par. Right now, it is a battle between these 2 American stars, but you can see Se Young Kim still has a chance. A couple of others too. Grant?
Yes, it's time for our course setup, brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, Pelican Golf Club.
Terry Kennelly and Justin Sheehan, they have both done a great job here and done a lovely job for us this week. Really been helpful. Donald Ross, a long time ago, he built so many wonderful golf courses around this country. This one, just 2 par 5s on the course, 1 on the front and 1 on the back.
Here's our defending champ at the 10th, Se Young Kim.
It's from 141, it's all pitching wedge. Quite heavily downwind right now. Wind really started to pick up out here. Came out low and took a big hop forward down that back slope.
Come back at all? He does. So Se Young has a chance to get to 17 under. Last year, Se Young Kim, you might recall, won the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Aronimink. She went home to Korea, then came back here, and this was her next start. She had a 5-shot lead entering the final round, made birdie at the par 5 14th, even with a bogey at the tough 18th. It was a 3-shot victory over Allie Ewing. It was her 12th career LPGA Tour title. The very next week, or actually next month, at the CME Group Tour Championship, she would secure Player of the Year honors. So 12 wins, Judy, Player of the Year, and one of those wins being a major. She's got 14 Hall of Fame points, and she knows where she stands on that front.
Yeah, I think she's a pretty clever young woman, and keeps herself in touch with what's going on out here.
Jin Young Ko for a birdie at 11. We know this moves left to right. Did she read it correctly? Oh, it turns a lot at the end. We saw that from the quarter putt. Jin Young and Nelly locked in a battle for the Rolex Player of the Year. Jin Young with a 15-point lead. The winner receives 30 points. If they were to win here, they would receive 30 points. If you finish second, you get 12 points. Only points for top 10. So if Nelly wins, it looks like she'll have a 15-point lead there or thereabouts.
Yeah, Jin Young still has a chance. She's tied for 9th at the moment, so she could pick up a point or 2 going into the final event. Final group making their way to the 10th. Yesterday, Judy, when I asked you who you think Player of the Year is, if it was a Judy Rankin vote, you said just by a hair, maybe Nelly Korda.
Yeah, I had to think about it for about an hour, but then I give Nelly credit for a major championship on her resume this year. I'm not supposed to, but I got to give her credit for the gold medal at the Olympics.
It's your vote. You can do whatever you want.
That's right. And I just think the golf she has played and what she's done for the women's game this year, this Player of the Year thing, you know, is not a popularity contest. This is a contest really about performance. And I think we have 2 outstanding performers here. I give the very slightest edge to Nelly, but we won't know till the end of next week.
And that victory at the 2020 officially Tokyo Olympics, even though it was July of this year. All right, up by 1 on the 10th tee. Just to the right of the fairway there. Just short of the pine straw.
Yeah, pins back left.
Jerry mentioned it's a little bit cooler today. And so you got the Florida girls here. Nelly's got the long sleeves and the long pants. Lexi came out with the full sleeves and the pullover this morning to warm up. Now the guns are out here. And she trails by 1 heading to the final 9.
Well, they're walking, they're swinging, they're walking briskly. Yeah, it's a very tolerable condition. If you're riding around in a cart without moving, you might get a little cool, you'll see the rules officials wrapped up some, but not the players and caddies. Going with 3-wood again, straight down breeze. That's up the right side as well.
And maybe in a similar place, but that ball is certainly sitting well.
So Nelly Korda and Lexi Thompson tied when this final round began. Nelly leads by 1 as they've made the turn on Sunday, the Pelican Women's Championship. For birdie at the 10th, Se-Young Kim.
And this back of the green is quite undulating. This is not an easy read.
That was to get within 2. Back in the fairway, Jerry Foltz has a special guest.
Thank you. A very, very talented actor, Michael Pena, the only guy I know in Hollywood that actually knows my name, Grant. But you've seen him probably a million times. Your name has appeared on credits, and all of them many times nominated for Academy Awards, your films. And a huge fan of golf in the LPGA.
Huge.
You've been out here every day this week. What is the attraction for you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is my home course. I'm a member at Pelican, and it's awesome that they've always had in mind to try to host a women's professional golf tournament. And I play this all the time, and I'm clearly going to stay in my lane. These girls are so good. They're so good, and I just love. I mean, they're professionals, so like any kind of professional golf, like I love it. Like, and people don't understand until, like, this is one of the great things. Like when you see these females like play golf, you're like, wow, they are good. They are really good.
Is there any commonality, and this is kind of a far-fetched question, but any commonality to your craft and what these players do?
Yeah, I think it's all like basically working on the basics and learning that hard work does pay off. And it's almost like if you're like Victor Hovland with his chipping, he just kept grinding and kept grinding and kept grinding, and eventually you just want to work on your weaknesses so that at least you can get them to neutral or like average, and then you work on everything else, and then you strengthen like the things that you're good at.
I got to call at the American Express your first ever hole, and when you didn't win a Lamborghini when you did that. Any other aces since then? How's your game?
Yeah, I've gotten 2 more aces.
Really?
Since then. This was funny. I don't know if people know this story, but like that was my first Pro-Am. And I've never been in front of a camera before, and somebody just posted up and wanted to. I literally hit the divot over the ball, and then you were nice enough to comment. And as soon as I hit the ball, I think I was in hole number 12 at the Nicholas course. Oh, that's got a chance. I didn't even know it had a chance, and it went in, and it went in.
Listen, it's always great to see you. Thanks for your support for the LPGA and all you do, not only in your craft, bringing us an escape every so often with your incredible roles, but your love of this game.
Always, always. Thanks, Mike.
Let's go out to the 9th and check in with Stephanie Meadow. This is her final hole, and she just bogeyed 8 to be projected 100th in the race to the CME Globe, and that's the cutoff. So birdie here would go a long way. That's just going to be on the wrong side of the little hump there, I think. Makes that birdie putt a little more difficult. Back in 2019, Stephanie birdied the final 2 holes of her last event at the Volunteers of America Classic to move inside the top 100 and avoid the Q series. So these are the 2 players we're watching, trying to avoid having to go to the Q score. You can see Lauren Coughlin doing enough, and right now Stephanie Meadow just doing enough, but a birdie would really go a long way for the Northern Irish woman. Let's go out to 10.
It's a tie for the lead between Lexi and Nelly, but both are right of the fairway, and we got a good look at what Lexi and her caddy Will Davidson are staring down here for their second.
They're trying to figure out a way to hoist it over this tree and get it to the hole. I think it's quite doable.
If this slope wasn't there, it'd be different. Right. It's a straight hill right there. Right where I didn't have to live.
I agree. I mean, with the hill, if you pitch it there, if you're going low, you pitch it there, and it can bounce really in any direction. No, I'm with this. I think this is. It's down slightly off the front left.
After the birdie from Nelly.
All right, you got it. Trust it.
At the 9th, it's Nelly by 1 over Lexi.
I get you to back this shadow up just a bit.
Please.
Back up just a little for me.
You don't have to put the sign up.
You can put the sign down. Thanks.
She loves to play these kind of field shots and so on.
This one's tough for her because it goes against her instincts. Trying to hit a 9-iron and hoist it that high that quickly, Judy. She hits the ball so low trajectory-wise.
Yeah, because she gets the club into the impact area just a little bit with reduced loft. So try not to do that here.
137 front, 171 all the way back to the hole, but the contour will take care of a lot of that if you get this thing on with any kind of speed in it. Cleared it with ease, but it's right edge.
Wow, the putt will really be fun.
Get you a ticket for that one.
Please, thank you, appreciate it.
Hey, just quickly, Michael Pena and the creativity and the intelligence to be that kind of an actor at that level, he almost qualifies as a golf nerd.
He is. He's a wonderful guy. Now Nelly has to keep it under the tree with a chippy 7-iron. That's just a matter of how well she judged the distance, and it's not easy to do.
It's got to get on top and go down.
Brilliant.
How about that?
Absolutely brilliant from the world #1 Nelly Korda. She leads by 1 and a chance to extend the lead. To the 9th.
Stephanie Meadow now for a birdie at the 9th, and this will go a long way if it drops.
A couple years ago, she birdied her last hole, and it's not going to happen that time.
So there are 3 players out there right now who could knock Stephanie out of the top 100. Pernilla Lindberg, Nicole Brock Estrup, and Suchia Cheng. They're all finishing up on the front 9. We're obviously going to be focusing on the back 9. But we will update you on those other players as the afternoon goes on. Lydia Ko from down in that little swale at the 11th. That is such a good touch from Lydia. So a lot of things happening here at the Pelican Women's Championship. It's going to be an agonizing few hours now for Stephanie Meadow. And meanwhile, we'll be watching an amazing battle at the top of this leaderboard.
Lexi Thompson has been brilliant with the putter this week, averaging just 26 putts per day, but her work is cut out for her here at the 10th. And just wait until you see what she's got in front of her as we're looking from high above.
Well, they should give the Lamborghini to anybody who can make this putt. At least a free game. This is a seagoer, and it's crazy. In the middle of her line, when it hits that ledge, that reverse tier in the green, there is a ridge in that green with swales on either side that could make her look foolish, even though she's hit a good putt. She looks like she's going to go left of that and use the far ridge and bring it around back, almost coming backwards when it gets to the hole. If she gets it inside Nelly's putt, it will be a heck of an effort.
Danielle Kang chipped one from on the green.
On top of the ridge.
Earlier this week, that's how severe it is. Did it get there?
It got there, and now it's going to pick up speed.
I can't believe she left it short. That's a heck of a putt.
Oh, my. Anybody and everybody would take that.
We said the stats outside the top 100 in putts per round and putts per green in regulation this year, but that doesn't tell the story, does it?
Not this week. It doesn't tell the story.
Solheim, she was great as well. To the 9th.
Well, we sort of gave this to Stephanie. Let's hope there's no issue here. Okay, so Stephanie Meadow is in with a round of 70. That's level par. She is projected 100th in the race to the CME Globe. Top 100 will keep their cards for next year and avoid going to the Q Series. Now, if she were to go to the Q Series, let's say she moves outside of the top 100, let's say she goes to 101, goes to the Q Series and doesn't get inside the top 45, that means there are approximately 45 players, at least 45 players, between her and the next player up there on the race to the CME Globe, as you watch Lauren Coughlin here. And that priority list with those difference of 45, that's what they use to get into the fields. So you can just imagine if there's a 108 player field, it's tough to get in. So there's a huge difference between finishing 100th and 101st. Jessica here Second at 13. Good shot there. They moved the tee up again at 13. So the last 3 days it's been up, and it's played a lot easier than it was on day one.
And you know, I don't know how the people at home would evaluate it, but the fact is, how this plays out at the top of the leaderboard will certainly affect people. But I don't think it's going to make or break anybody's career or chance of competing next year the way it will someone at that list that we're talking about. So this is really critical for players. And let me tell you, there's a fine line. It's a pretty fine line between the very best and players who are quite good.
This is the par 3 12th. It is Jin Young Ko, who, despite not playing last week, there was no LPGA event last week, she dropped from first to second. Nelly moved back ahead of her. This is for par, the par 3. And so she stays inside the top 10. Every point is crucial in that Rolex Player of the Year race. Golf Pass is showing its support to the military community by introducing a special offer for all veterans and active duty military. All servicemen and women can save 20% off a Golf Pass membership for a year's worth of benefits. Go to golfpass.com/military. Veterans Day earlier this week. As we look above the 10th, Lexi Thompson's got a putt for par. Nelly Korda has a putt for a 2-shot lead at least.
Yes, should be a pretty decent chance here as well. Not only the distance, but not that tough putt to figure out. A little bit of left turn initially. After that, I don't see much. Back uphill slightly.
Perfect. So from under a tree, perfectly judged with her punch shot, converts it into a birdie, and to 20 under she goes, and at least a 2-shot advantage. All those chances she talked about leaving on the table earlier in the week, she's now burying them.
And I think it's that's the story of her game. She gives herself so many chances. She's long off the tee. She hits a lot of fairways, but most importantly, the shots she plays to the green give her an enormous amount of opportunities, and that's all a good player needs in this game, is a lot of chances.
It's getting late early here. It's the 10th hole, but this to stay 2 back for Lexi.
Got a bit of a read out of Jennifer Kupcho's missed par putt on the same line. This one is outside the hole, barely on the left, but very delicate down the slope.
Beautiful stroke.
Well, we said earlier in the week, could be a big week for lag putting, and Lexi with an enormous 2-putt there to stay within striking distance of Nelly. Nelly trying to win for the 4th time on the LPGA Tour. One of those was a major, her first, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Not counting in all of these season-ending races was that huge gold medal victory in Tokyo in the extreme, excruciating heat there in Tokyo. With the likes of Monet Iname, of course the whole country of Japan pulling for her, and Lydia Ko got the bronze. But she said she focuses, Tom, on winning, get the victories, and then the rest will sort themselves out.
Yeah, and Tom, it was interesting how in so many interviews, particularly this week, we've had people tell us how competitive they are.
Yeah, the level of competitiveness at the top of the game is incredible. Nelly Korda on the tee.
Back into the wind. Watching it closely, but not for long.
Yeah, that's just fine. Wide open fairways here for the most part, Pelican. It's when you're hitting into these greens and then playing around the greens and putting on the greens that things get tricky. Players are challenged, but as you can see, quite a wide target area on most of the holes. Here's Lexi.
The interesting stat too, you say wide open it is, and it doesn't handcuff the long players like so many other courses do. It takes driver out of their hands, but you have the number 1, number 2, and number 17 players on the LPGA Tour in total driving in the final group, and this is supposed to be a second shot golf course. I guess that shows the importance of getting it up there with a scoring club in your hand.
Yeah, and putting it in the right half of the fairway, giving yourself a look into the flag location. Lexi, a little concerned that was down the right.
Yeah, the lanes are usually more exaggerated than the error.
Yeah, that's just fine.
Yeah, you know, when you're really a good driver, you're looking at that hole location before you put the tee in the ground.
Right.
And seeing if the right or the left is going to improve your look.
Lauren Coughlin now for a birdie. Trying to ease it back towards the hole. To Monday qualify for the tournament when you have to get in to keep your playing privileges is pretty impressive, but then to use that and play well like she's doing, she's inside the top 20, is really quite something. Level par for the day, projected 98th right now. Back over to 11, and Se-Young Kim from that swale catching a little bit of the hole, but that gives you an indication of how good Lydia Ko's shot was just a little earlier. It's so steep, that bank, trying to pick a spot to pitch it on. Now over at the 13th, Jessica Korda to get it to 10 under. Jessica somewhat overshadowed by her sister's fine performance this year, but she finally breaks her duck there and gets a birdie, having had 12 straight pars. Nelly on top of the leaderboard of the Pelican Women's Championship. Plenty more to come. Lexi Thompson chasing her down. Young Kim here for a par at 11, so you're going to think to yourself this needs to go in. Oh dear, Karen. So that's just a 5 there for Se-Young, and she goes 5 behind Nelly Korda. He's going to need to turn it on, I think, over the remainder of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
Lexi's going to be first to play, I think, Jerry.
Yep. Love that. Yes. Yeah, right on. All right, so one here.
She is. That's unusual when she hits driver off the tee, but
yes, that's correct.
didn't catch her best here. Side hill lie, slightly uphill, 140 to the hole. Into the wind, going with an 8-iron.
Seen a lot of players err on the side of caution, just knock it about 10 feet past the flag.
Well, we'll see here, just left of the hole.
And a little more than that from Lexi, but that's the safe shot. Jin Young Ko at the 13th. Good shot there. 4 wins in her last 7 starts, Jin Young Ko. Nelly wins today. It'll be her 4th victory on the LPGA Tour this year. Here is Nelly. 121 yards to go. And when we take a look at our insights by KPMG this week, 121, she's ranked 14th, wouldn't she? Should be in the 100, 125 range, 125 to 150. She's ranked 3rd, but it's into the breeze, Jerry, so it's playing over 121.
Yeah, great point by Karen Stubbles during Marshall, exactly. It's playing 126, so she should be 3rd on this shot, but that's flying right of it.
Careful, careful. It's right on the edge. Get up there and mark it. That is right on the edge, and if it were to move probably an inch, it would run all the way back down into that gully. Do you remember we saw Lydia Ko and Se-Young Kim chipping? That's where Nelly's ball would finish up. So she'll get up there and realize how fortunate she is, but you need a bit of luck, I suppose, if you're going to win.
She needs less than most, it seems like.
Well, when you've got a lot of skill, you need a little less luck. 6 career wins on the LPGA Tour, and she's won all over the world. That's what stands out here, on different grasses, in different conditions. She broke through and won that major championship at the Atlanta Athletic Club in June of 2021. That took her to the top of the Rolex rankings, and she's been battling with Jin Young Ko since then. And in fact, if you go back to July of 2019, there have only been 2 players who have occupied the top spot in the world since then, Jin Young Ko and Nelly Korda. Nelly took over, as I said, in June from Jin Young Ko, and then Jin Young Ko, when she won the BMW Ladies Championship, took back the world #1. And then this week, Nelly regained the top spot from Jin Young Ko without actually playing. It's the way the world rankings work. So they've really been locked in a battle. There's nothing to separate them. Right now, you'd say Nelly's the best player in the world. Next week, it could be Jin Young Ko with the way that she plays. But these two are certainly at the top of their games.
Leona Maguire was the story of day one. She shot 62, set the course record, which has been matched since Thursday. Ian Lee turned that score in as well. This for par for Leona. Superstar at the Solheim Cup, led Europe to victory, partnering with Mel Reid. Went 4-0-1, Judy. All 5 matches played. The only one to do that.
Yeah, played every match, and I think she could have played 2 more.
I'm shocked that Leona has struggled today. I saw her playing a lot better than she has done. Looking down on that green, you can see where our mic operator is standing on the left there. That's the big gully that Nelly has avoided. Cheryl Taylor down there trying to bring you some of the chatter from the players on the green. Lexi trying to figure out what this one does, Jerry.
Yeah. I'm in shock that Nelly's ball didn't roll back. It landed on that upslope top and released forward into the wind. But Lexi's putt back up the hill should be moving right. Everything I see in it says that. She's definitely looking well outside the left. And these are the ones, you know, we've seen Lexi have short-term putting success in the past. This grip, as Judy's referenced, in whatever she's doing with her stroke and practicing, like she says, every single night at home, she has her putting mat is sitting there and she's going, I'll just putt for 2.5 hours. So whatever she's doing is working, and I think I like her chances of long-term success, of this having legs, as they say in our business, whatever changes she's made. And the one thing you'll notice here, well, maybe speaking too soon, is that these used to just always limp to the hole. And of late, the last month or so, everything's been getting to the hole with a bit of conviction. There's an actual hit in the stroke.
Yeah, to my eye, though, the thing I like the most about it is, for the first time, I have to say in a long time, or if ever, she seems to me to have a touch. And, you know, when you look at some of the really best putters in the game, you look at a Christy Kerr and the way she putted. You go back and look at how Nancy Lopez putted. Regardless of style of putting, they had a touch. They had a definite feel for the distance of a putt and the way the ball should roll. That combination makes for touch.
How about her touch? Pretty good.
Excellent.
Over the years, Lydia Ko for par. Perfect speed.
And her touch, in Lydia Ko's case, translates all the way through her short game.
Another good Ko here, 13.
Jin Young for a birdie. Yeah. Her first birdie since the 7th hole. That gets her into 7th position, which matters when it comes to Rolex Player of the Year points, although she is unlikely to win here. Try and make up some points and a better chance of winning that prestigious award next week. Looking down at the 11th, and Nelly Korda with the birdie try.
downhill. I saw this breaking left early, but I say that with a tiny bit of conviction. Bobbles really a lot right off the putter.
Babied it down there. Tough to tell how far short that is from the angle we were watching.
Over 2.5 feet, close to 3.
Yeah, it was a pretty good read, but that's the only part she had right.
Yeah, I think that little hobble early cost her a lot of speed.
There you go. Yeah, something to think about. Shouldn't be an issue, but needs to take care of it.
You don't like 3-footers downhill at any point in any round of golf, much less back 9 of a championship Sunday.
Nelly and Lexi have never really battled together in the final group on Sunday.
Yeah. Right. The tempo of the stroke looked pretty good. I mean,
Saying it was downgrade, downhill, downwind. She was trying to be careful and just a little bit too careful. Let's go to 12.
Christina Kim on the tee.
Little cold wind off the right. That sounded a bit heavy to me.
Careful. That is almost a guaranteed water ball.
Ow.
Yeah. Great story this week. She's going to keep her card. Wasn't sure of it when the week began. Missed Monday qualifying by 1. Got a sponsor's invite. Is taking advantage.
Checking with Brooke for a birdie at 13. Yes, so Brooke Henderson is into a tie for 7th alongside her good pal Jin Young Ko. And Nelly pretty relaxed. Time for some autographs there. They don't usually autograph golf balls. A lucky guy. They're a bit difficult to sign your name on. So Nelly leading by 2 as they walk to the par 3 12th, where they've been giving away that Lamborghini all week long. So we've got a few more tries at that. Be a nice way. I think Nelly might take it. Might even cruise down to Naples and put the roof down.
Wouldn't take long.
Nelly Korda back on top of the world, but will she be on top of the leaderboard come the end of the day here at the Pelican Women's Championship?
At the 12th, Christina Kim taking a drop after her tee shot at this par 3 rolled back into the water. 19-year veteran, Judy. She knows the rules.
Yep. Twice and no bueno. So then you place it exactly where it hit the turf first.
You've got to think, Judy, though, that even placing it's an issue on that slope. It's pretty steep and pretty sheer with regards to the grass coverage.
So you're saying she might not ground this club?
This is still pretty scary, yes.
Well, everybody wants to see her finish off this tournament well.
That's a nice little chip there.
That'll be for bogey. You come in 98th on the points list. There's a very good chance you could be passed.
You try to qualify and you miss by a shot, and you think you should pack, but you get a sponsor's exemption late in the day and take full advantage.
It was about an hour after she finished her Monday qualifying round. Came over here, was practicing, and got the word. Little chillier today. Patty Tabatanikit, long sleeves and the long pants on. The tie, great from UCLA, and now a major champion on the LPGA Tour. Won the first major of the year. A&A Inspiration, now the Chevron Championship.
Just trying to figure out where her nearest point of relief will be. That's not nearer the hole from where her ball ended up, which is up against the stands. I think if I was Paddy, I would hope that my nearest point would be to the left of where her ball is, like nearer towards our TV tower rather than towards the far right of the green.
Final group waiting back on the 12th tee.
Saw the Lightning Lounge there at the back of the green. I want to thank the CEO of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Steve Griggs, for the wonderful hospitality for a number of folks from the LPGA and some broadcasters last night getting to watch the team. It was a pretty tight game. Wonderful atmosphere there. They're really into their hockey in this part of the world.
Stanley Cup champs a couple of times.
It was a fantastic finish to the game yesterday. I was there and went into overtime, and it was a goal scored on a breakout, and it was pretty fun to watch on the 3-on-3.
Sounds like that's another sport Karen could call.
I don't think so. I could barely keep up with it.
Well, this has got to be even harder for a player like Nelly, who loves to play quickly. Got a 2-shot lead. One player in the water, another getting a ruling.
It won't be a consolation to Nelly, but this group waited a little bit of time on the tee as well. So I think players in general have been backed up here. Players have been falling back into the water. They've been going long into the stands. I think that's just part of what this hole brings, is particularly when the wind's picking up too. With the wind off the right, you really do have to make a decision what you want to do with the shot when you're standing on the tee. If you're going to hit a little draw, it's going to carry a little bit deeper and fly farther. If you hit a little fade, it's going to come up a bit shorter. So you have to be fully aware of what shot shape you're going to play with regards to what club you're taking, and that's why I think you see players making a few little errors.
Judy Patty Tavatanik, not only has she already wrapped up Rookie of the Year, but she won the Rama, the Rolex Annika Major Award, in addition to winning there at Mission Hills. She finished 26th at the U.S. Women's Open, 5th at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Didn't play Evian. She was headed over to the Olympics. Tied for 7th at the AIG Women's Open. So the breakout victory was amazing, how she did it at 18 under par. But it's been a great year start to finish.
Yes, it has. And the Annika Award for the major championship performance over a season, including a win, is a big one. I think, isn't that awarded next week?
Tom is our host of the Rolex Awards, so he'll be handing it out.
Yeah, Thursday night. You can see it on Facebook Live.
How nice is that?
Back here at the Pelican Women's Championship, where it looks like it's Nelly versus Lexi. Lydia Ko still with a chance, but kind of running out of holes. Probably needs a birdie here. This has 2nd to 13.
It's a hole location that is just there for the taking.
Yeah, good chance for a birdie. Ball striking has been key, she said this week, to her success. Hitting it very well indeed. Let's get back over to 12.
And Se Young Kim for birdie.
From that valley in the middle of this green, got to go up that steep slope. It's nicely judged for speed. Very nice.
Two back when the round began. Se Young now 5 behind Nelly Korda as she looks to extend a streak of years with a victory to 7. Rookie of the Year in 2015, Player of the Year last year, but without a victory this season. Been a bit of a wait for this final group. Nelly Korda, Lexi Thompson. Tough day for Jennifer Kupcho playing with the 2 proven stars. Jennifer Kupcho 4 over today. These 3 Solheim Cup teammates. So you got the battle at the top, and then you got the battle for the top 100, and Lauren Coughlin at the par 5 14th. As for Birdie, she's projected to go to 98th. 98th is where Christina Kim entered the week in the race to the CME Globe. This for bogey.
Saw the finish to Se-Young Kim's part, and that was not the most positive stroke there.
Double at the 10th, a double at the 12th. She still has some wiggle room to keep her card, stay in the top 100. Was very much in doubt when the week began. She missed Monday qualifying by 1. About an hour later, got the call that she'd been given a sponsor's invitation. 13.
Here's the birdie putt for Lydia Ko. Oh, it just stayed left. So Lydia will remain at 15 under.
She is a past winner of the race to the CME Globe, and next week we'll crown another champion, the CME Group Tour Championship. 60 players vying for a $1.5 million first prize. It begins Thursday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on the NBC Sports app, then 3 o'clock on Golf Channel. Terry Gannon and Judy and the crew will be there. And a Tiburon. A couple of hours to the south in Naples. To wrap up this, what we've called the super season, Judy. The Olympics, the Solheim Cup, 5 majors.
Yeah, a lot of things get shifted around to accommodate both the Solheim Cup and the Olympics for sure, in all through golf. But it is a pretty magnificent season when you look at the things that players can be a part of.
Been super for Nelly. She hadn't won in the U.S. until the second event of this season in Florida, the Gainbridge LPGA at Lake Nona. She'd won 3 times elsewhere. But then she won the Meyer LPGA Classic, fending off Leona Maguire in Michigan. And the next week won the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, her first major. Moved to #1 in the world and won the Olympic gold medal. Leads it here by 2. Voice caddy tells us 157 to the hole, 132 to the front. That's a big number here.
Last time Nelly had to wait on a par 3 both Saturday and Sunday at the Atlanta Athletic Club, Women's KPMG PGA. Both times over water. She hit a bad shot, got lucky one day, not on Sunday, but this one's safe. It's long and left with an 8-iron.
That's gone from a putt now to a pitch, most likely. It is a long wait, easily 10 minutes, maybe more.
Well, if you stood there, as you stood there, if you wanted to know, you could see what went wrong with the previous group.
Do you want to?
Yeah, no, you don't want to, but have you ever tried not to look at something?
No.
1 in the water and 1 needed a ruling. Now Lexi tied for the lead when the day began, 2 back at the moment.
Did a bunch of stretches while she was waiting up here. Taking the left side of the tee box, going to try and hold it up into the wind as much as she can. This also an 8-iron is, so she's definitely going to try and hold it up into that breeze a bit. It's from the right with a little bit of help. She's done exactly that. This is actually right of the flagstick.
Oh, careful. Balls have come back into the water. That one appears safe. All week long, beginning with the Pro-Am on Monday, players have had a chance, pros and amateurs alike, to win Lamborghini Huracan. 3 times it's been given out. One last chance here. The first one went in today. Sue O. Maybe the last one. Jennifer Kupcho will go.
I'm going with 7-iron. This is well right of the edge of the green.
Unbelievable. That's the first I've seen not drop back all the way into the water.
Oh, nothing about today has been a break for Jennifer Kupcho, but that's a break.
Nelly Korda began the day tied for the lead. She leads it by 2. She's got an awkward second shot, it would appear, coming up. Lexi will have a putt for birdie. 11 wins. The first of them came when she was 16 years old. It was an LPGA record, youngest ever. Hasn't won in 2 years. We mentioned Austin Ernst with an ace on Monday in the Pro-Am. Friday, Pavarisa Yaktuan. A whole location over on the left. Said she just wrecked her BMW. She's been riding a motorcycle. Now she's got, at least for the next couple of years, a Lambo. A 27-year-old from Thailand. And then the first player to get to the 12th today, Sue O from Australia. The hole over on the right today.
She's got a U.S. home in the Dallas area, and I think you might see her tooling around.
In the Dallas area, just listen for the Lambo. It's her second ace of the year. Made one the Medihill Championship at Lake Merced back in June. But she didn't win the Lamborghini then. She did for 2 years here. There's a tournament trophy on the line, coveted for these best players in the world, and Nelly leads it by 2. % of the time gets it up and down when she misses a green in regulation. How hard is this one, Jerry?
This was pretty tough. She's going to try and just land this barely on the fringe, it looks like, and let it run down to the hole, just like that. That's pretty good. Getting better. Not stone dead, but don't want to have to hit that one a second time. She wanted to get it over with, though, Judy. I thought Cupcho was away, and she says, looks like me. I'll go ahead. She's ready.
She's already waited enough on this hole. Thank you.
Yeah. Not a faster player in women's golf. And not a better one. #1 in the world.
Second at the 13th for Se-Young Kim.
Se-Young's got 118. This is quite a lot downwind now. Hole location in quite an accessible spot there.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good shots in here today. Playing as one of the easiest holes on the course, which I'm not so sure is what they meant when they did the redesign here. Taking a look at the Rolex Women's World Rankings, we mentioned that battle between Nelly Korda and Jin Young Ko, which has been going on for a couple of years. Se-Young Kim is 4th in the world. Inbee Park, player who's spent many weeks at the top of the world, choosing not to play next week. Surprised at that. I know she does have her event in Korea, but Inbee will not be in the field at the CME Group Tour Championship. Lydia Ko moving back towards the top of the world rankings. And what a year it's been for Yuka Saso and Minjee Lee, both major champions in 2021. Back out to the 12th.
And Lexi Thompson has a putt to get within 1 of Nelly, who still has a tough putt for par coming up.
She got a pretty good read from Jennifer Cupshow's pitch shot that almost had a chance. 23 feet 2 inches, courtesy of our friends at R2, providing the laser measurement for our Peacock streaming hole coverage that is just about to conclude. Turning a little left the whole way, slightly uphill. It's a comfortable putt for most players. There is a little patch 2/3 of the way there where the grain changes, going from into the grain to a little bit of down left grain, which might grab it some, but shouldn't be a huge factor.
She's made a lot of these right to left putts this week. Maybe from just a fraction shorter distance than this, but her eye sees this line really well.
Did she? Yes! Lexi for birdie at 12. She's within 1. She's got a chance at the best putting week of her 10-year LPGA career. Just 78 putts through 3 rounds and 18 through 12 today. Nelly to stay in front by 1.
A little delicate downhill, should drop a hair right.
We are tied again. As we were when this final round began. Bogey for Nelly, birdie for Lexi. 19 under as they go to the 13th, and they've opened up that gap, Judy. Well, she closed out a match at Inverness on the 17th hole, surrounded by thousands. She has a flair for the dramatic and has for a long time.
She was hurt, and she talked about it when there were not any crowds because she gets such great fan support.
Right on cue. Autograph for a youngster. Love to see the young girls and the young guys out there.
This is Patty Tavatanakit's second at 13.
And it's a sandwich from 94.
Yeah, right on the line there for Patty.
Just a hop forward, it would have been really good.
Mentioned the Louise Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year. Patty Tavatanakit has already wrapped that up. The major championship went a long way to win at the Chevron Championship, which is the new name of the A&A Inspiration. But it's been a solid season for Patty, and she will receive that in the official ceremony on Thursday evening in Naples. Named after the late founder, Louise Suggs. And walk forward to the 13th tee rather than a walk back. And this should be just a drive and a flick wedge for these long hitters here, Jerry.
It should be. I'm going with driver here. There's really no reason not to. Tee placement here, Tom, really makes a huge difference on this hole. Wind has had a lot to say about it, but the hole location can get evil here at times today. Doesn't look too bad. 19 on 9 from the right.
Yeah, gentle one in the middle of the green today. I was surprised they didn't move the tee back for this this final round. I was thinking they would, but they've moved it up again.
A lot of long hitters in contention too.
Yeah. Rip down there.
Boy, and really good balance. You wouldn't always say that as Lexi Thompson hit a full shot. Love it.
And this is Se-Young Kim for a birdie.
Looking to try and be really aggressive coming in.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Yeah, she's got to just. What do you think? She might have to birdie all the holes coming in. There's par 5 coming up next. 15's a tough hole, playing its full length, the par 3. 16, 17 short par 4s, and then 18 is a bit of a beast. There's the tee there at 13. Almost looks like it's part of the fairway, doesn't it?
Has that similarity to Augusta in that regard. Nelly was aiming left side of the fairway, hit a little push draw, really nicely done. Wind from the left, holding its line well.
Yeah, we're going to outdrive Lexi. And Nelly said she does have a little bit more distance in there if she needs it, but the accuracy kind of changes a bit when she tries to hit too hard. Tavatanakit now for birdie at 13.
This one should move a bit right.
Seemed to start too far left. So good opportunity goes missed there for Tavatanakit, who remains 1 under for the day. Still inside the top 5 here, the final round of the Pelican Women's Championship. And nothing to separate Nelly and Lexi at the top of this leaderboard as they stroll down the fairway at the 13th.
Lydia Ko's 3rd shot. Running out of time here to win. That'll help. She leads in strokes gained around the green, to no surprise. KPMG Insights. Rory McIlroy teams up with Peacock to bring you the all-new Golf Pass channel. Watch premier instruction and entertainment from the golf membership program. Sign up at peacocktv.com and start watching now. Hopefully you've been enjoying the coverage, which has just concluded from the 12th hole all week. We saw a couple of Lamborghinis handed out for a couple of years. George Savaricas and Jim Gallagher Jr. anchoring our coverage. Fun.
So we've got one ball on the green there with a pretty good approach at 13. That was Kupcho. Looks like Lexi and Nelly could just throw one on there from where they are.
You could putt this, yeah. Yeah, not a lot of break in it. 96 yards. A little bit of help in this breeze from the left mostly. This should be sand wedge. It is.
Got to be careful of the spin here, Jerry, or you don't think that'll be much of a factor?
Well, Lexi spins the ball more than any other player out here. She uses the lowest spinning ball that's manufactured, and it still spins a lot. So yeah, she's always careful of it, but downwind should help a little in that regard.
Needed a bit more spin. So she'll have that for a birdie. Lexi with a decent look there, but Nelly's going to try and knock it inside that mark.
Yeah, 93 yards. 54-degree sand wedge, if you will. A little one, according to Jason McDeed. Just got ahead of it a hair.
Yeah, doesn't love it.
Yeah, your body gets ahead of the ball just a fraction prior to impact, and it's a little harder to square the club up. Usually hangs out to the right in that case. Well, we've been wanting for a long time to see two of the best in the game have a real battle on a Sunday afternoon. This is good.
Multiple winners this season on the LPGA Tour. Jin Young Ko has 4 wins. Nelly Korda with 3. But remember, Nelly's win at the Olympic Women's Golf Competition does not count as a victory on the LPGA Tour. So it's a little bit misleading because that was a massive victory, the gold medal for Nelly. And then you've got Eria Jutanagan with a couple of wins, Nasa Hataoka with a couple of wins. But really the focus is on Jin Young Ko and Nelly Korda. And those are the 2 players battling for the Rolex Player of the Year. They're the 2 players battling at the top of the Rolex Women's World Rankings. And there's not going to be that much to separate them next week, heading in to the final event of the season. And Nelly's going to be first to go here with a lot longer than she would have expected from that kind of distance.
Yeah, disappointing sand wedges for both Nelly and Lexi. Both pretty good putters though as well. Downhillers back into the breeze a bit shouldn't be frightening. Nelly's will turn a little bit left, it appears, and Lexi's a tiny bit.
Thought it was interesting, Jerry, on that last tee. You made a very good point about the final round of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. I just don't think Nelly likes to wait too long, and it was a long wait back on that tee, and she makes bogey.
Yeah, it was eerily similar in that regard, and then she did it on both days, Saturday and Sunday. Both times hit big pushes. Should have both gone in the water, but Saturday cleared it by a matter of inches, made par. It's no fun to stand there and just wait. And she not a fan of it. No fast player's a fan of it.
Just a little extra time here made the walk around to look from the other side. Will it lead to the birdie? Looks pretty good. Oh, turned at the end.
Well, you'll see a subtle little turn on these greens, and it will turn into a big break.
So it should be a 4 for Nelly, but Lexi will have a chance for back-to-back birdies and to edge ahead by 1. As we take a look at the insights by KPMG, highest putt make percentage in concluding the first 3 rounds this week, and starting in the springtime when they started collecting the data, you can see Lexi is, I mean, 10% better.
That would have been unthinkable just a year ago.
She's 7 of 11 from this kind of range so far this week.
Got a great read from Jessica's putt. And Judy mentioned having these two young, promising stars battling it out that we've been waiting for. A lot of fans love this kind of stuff. But I think, Judy, the #1 reason why is this golf course. They didn't set it up long, but it doesn't handcuff the long players. And Lexi and Jessica, both incredible ball strikers, and that is making them both able to shine this week. So often, courses take driver out of their hands.
That very identical turn to the turn we saw at the end of Nellie's putt.
Prominent local family, the Doyle family, acquired this golf course in the last 5 years. They put a lot of money into the renovation here, and they were looking at the next steps. And the director of golf, Justin Sheehan, said, "I've got a good idea. Why don't we have an LPGA tournament?" And the Doyle family thought that was a good idea, and they pressed on with it, and it's been very successful over the first couple of years. Justin, of course, still here working very hard and works with a number of LPGA players himself.
Their plans for this are very ambitious, and knowing the Doyles, they're going to see it through. It's really a cool week. This one turning right outside the hole, slightly uphill.
Yeah, one of the great things they do here, I am told, and I know this to be true, is if you're a member, you're a member. And if you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter. So when they have a member guest, if the member is a female, she can play with another female. She can play with a male. It can be a mixed team. It can be a like team, but everybody that is a member takes part. So a lot of fun.
Nearly just cleaning up, and there was an announcement this morning that Pelican Women's Championship will be extended through 2025, and there will be a purse increase to $2 million next year. So a commitment to women's golf from the Doyle family and the sponsors here. Of course, this event presented by Konica Minolta and Raymond James. So good news for tournament golf here in Bel Air.
And you cannot forget, is it Morgan Motors, Morgan Automotive, who puts up the Lamborghinis? I didn't even know the word Lambo before this week, so I've learned a lot.
You thought it was the field that Green Bay
I did.
played.
I did.
A slightly different spelling.
I did. I thought it was Aaron Rodgers' home.
I think we should get you in one of the Lambos, Judy. They've got to be taken back to the dealership. They've got a few parked on the back of the range. That'd be quite fun tomorrow.
I can drive a stick shift.
Christina Kim, third at the 14th.
Oh, trying to leap back into the birdie train here after a few bogeys.
Very good. Not packing it in.
Oh, beauty.
Well done. Christina began the day just a couple of shots off the lead. 5 over today. Aditi Ashok, well, she lit up India with her run towards a medal in Tokyo in the Olympic Games. And that round for Aditi, 64, and that's going to move her from 85th to 75th. And that means she's going to be fully exempt next year. The LPGA Tour, she still would have gotten into most events, but she'll get into a few more now inside the top 80. Just a gorgeous week of weather. Had a 20-minute weather delay. That's all. Yesterday, a rain shower blew through. We are tied at the top. Lexi Thompson, Nelly Korda each has led outright.
Correct.
1 point today. Knotted at 19 under as they play this par 5 14th, the only par 5 on the back nine.
Shortened up a little bit today. Breeze is in, but mostly from the right. Both Lexi and Nelly with good tee shots, will have a chance to get home in two with no more than a hybrid or a long iron.
Yeah, the lone par 5 on the back 9.
Hit the solid, keep it on grass. Both of them will have a good shot at it. Got the solid part down. Grass part's a given.
Yeah, my gosh, you should have seen the trajectory there. Absolutely straight.
And much higher launch angle than normal.
Well, the Aon Risk Reward Challenge, a season-long race measuring how players do on a given hole each week. Hannah Green wrapped up the $1 million first prize yesterday. Didn't play this week. Had the lead coming in to this final event of the Aon Risk Reward Challenge, and she takes home the $1 million. Lexi Thompson and Lydia Ko were the only two that could have caught her. Lexi would have needed a 2 and a 3 at this par 5 and unable to get either the first 3 days. So it is official.
It is official. She measured the risk, and you know what? She's got the reward.
There's a lot of rewards still waiting the rest of the day. Nelly Korda.
I don't think it was truly official till Lexi didn't make a 1 today.
Okay.
Yeah. Started off high, a little right, but she seems to like it. It sounded solid.
Looked beautiful.
May have gotten her just again. Lexi and Nelly have been neck and neck. Could be an interesting stance. Up on the green, Se-Young Kim. Really has to make this to have a shot, you'd think. Still one more chance to extend her win streak to 7 straight years. Jin Young Ko, now number 2 in the world. Number 1 in the race to the CME Globe. Having another great week. 2nd at the 16th. Water left. And the ball just right of the pin. Back at the 14th. Christina Kim for birdie.
Trying to really kind of bounce back a little bit here. Every little one counts and helps.
Second birdie of the day for Christina.
She's made $129,000 on the tour this season. Big, big day.
A big week after getting a sponsor invitation at the 11th hour. Nelly Korda, Lexi Thompson playing the par 5 14, tied at the top. The par 5 14th. Nelly Korda leads the LPGA par 5 scoring average. Lexi Thompson is 6th. And they've both hit great tee shots.
Statistically, on the tour this year, the difference in their driving average is less than 6 yards, Lexi being the longer.
Lexi first here.
Yeah, downhill line, which is not easy to hit with a 2-iron. 202 front, 215 hole, longer carry over the bunker in the center of the green. But a 2-iron off a downhill side hill lie. Solid contact is definitely not a given. Sounded a little loud, maybe a little off the toe. Needs to get up to carry that bunker.
Just short.
Yeah. Certainly looked from the fairway like it flew into the front bunker, which is not a horrible place. And Lexi's sand game has been pretty outstanding this year now. Nelly wasting no time. 5 hybrid.
I think it's just short. We'll see.
Okay.
Get up there. Nelly.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit of an uphill lie. 200 yards, 5 hybrid. That was struck nicely. That's on a great line if it's the club, just right of the hole.
Needs to settle. It hit just on that downhill little hump at the beginning of the green, but beautiful shot and timely.
That'll be for eagle. Lexi just short of the bunker, it appears. We'll confirm to 15.
Lydia Ko is a really good tee shot here. Is for birdie. Yeah, it's a good 2 today. It's a tough hole, playing as the 4th hardest hole on the golf course. It's 194 yards. Flag all the way in the back left. And it's a good round of golf. 4 under, not quite good enough to be in the mix, but only, well, mix at the top of the leaderboard, only a couple of shots back. Let's go to 16.
And in the top 10 in the race to the CME Globe, top 10 in the world ranks, top 10 on the leaderboard. Brooke Henderson is going to move up a bit. It would appear there. So the leaders, Lexi Thompson, Nelly Korda playing the par 5 14th. An eagle putt for Nelly, a 3rd shot from in front of the green for Lexi. Lexi Thompson did come up just a step shy of the bunker, 3rd at the par 5 14th.
Really tight lie, slight uphill lie. Took about 30 practice swings. Clipped it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
How hard was that, Judy?
That was a really difficult shot, and you would not have been surprised to see it 15, 18 feet beyond the hole, and actually still struck pretty well.
Jin Young Ko to go to 5 under for the day. She's starting another streak, Judy, of rounds in the 60s. This is going to be 7 in a row for her after she went 14 straight and had it snapped in Korea at the BMW Ladies Championship. And so take a look. This is what's available for top 10s in the race for the Rolex Player of the Year. Now she's tied for 5th. And you don't even bother splitting up points. If you finish in a tie for 5th or solo, it doesn't matter. It's 6 points. And now Nelly for eagle to take the lead.
And slippery and turning left. Ooh, gave that a healthy hit.
She may still be away.
Yeah, that's definitely outside Lexi. That's 12 feet.
Nelly had a 2-shot lead, then waited for close to 15 minutes on the tee at the par 3 12th. Tugged her tee shot. Couldn't get up and down. Lexi made birdie. They are tied. They've known each other a long time. They first met when Lexi and Nelly's older sister Jessica played a Curtis Cup together. It was 2010. This is the first time that Nelly and Lexi have gone head to head on a Sunday with a trophy hanging in the balance. Jennifer Kupcho has been a bit of a bystander here today.
And it's a tough place to be. You're struggling with your own game, but then you actually have a little concern that you're in the midst of the real happening.
These 3 Solheim Cup teammates from Inverness. Jennifer's given herself multiple chances to win this year. Come up just a bit short in Ocala, 3rd event of the season. Lost to Austin Ernst. And was 1 shot out of a playoff in Northern Ireland. All right, birdie putts for our leaders here.
And good news is it's uphill. Maybe move a touch to the right, not a lot, based on what it did going by.
Three-putt par for Nelly. Her second 3-putt of the day. The door is open for Lexi.
That's going to hurt. And Lexi plays a 3rd that a lot of different things could have gone wrong. Nothing went wrong. She played it really well.
Par save at the 2nd of about 15 feet. And Jerry, that 2-putt at the 10th from what, 75 feet?
No, yeah.
At least?
From Tampa. And that was over a bridge or 2.
And then this delicate 3rd shot to this point is to take the lead with 4 to go.
I mean, turning right, speed shouldn't be an issue. Pretty level speed-wise.
only thing I can add to this that I've seen this week is the right to left putt. She has been excellent with the left to right putt, not quite as strong, but the stroke's been so good. Might not matter if she can just get the ball started on line.
And then she misses these. They're always low, but you can say that about almost every player.
Yes.
That was high.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I can break that down pretty simply because there's not a player in the game that hasn't done it. She set it up perfectly, and then through the stroke, she gave it a tiny bit of help. Didn't want to lose it on that low side.
Knew it was going right.
Yep.
And
so
at the last second, right?
Yeah. So there's something in us that says maybe I didn't play it quite high enough. Let me help it a little bit with this stroke. And whether you're a very good player or a very poor player or anywhere in the middle, you've done that.
So two of the best on tour in par 5 scoring average have the hole with par. They remain tied for the lead. Lydia Ko is not out of it by any means down the stretch at the Pelican Women's Championship.
This is the tee shot at the 15th. Tough hole today. Lexi Thompson on the tee.
Tough hole location. 184 to clear the bunker in line with the flagstick. You want it just a hair right of that, but that's being picky on 194 yards 6-iron with the wind helping.
Yeah, the flag just over that bunker on the left. The green does gather it down towards the left.
Yeah, that portion of the green over the bunker to the back edge. Only 20 steps deep. And that is the ideal line, just right of it. If it's the club, and it's not.
It's going to be a trickier putt.
It was pretty steep at impact there.
Yeah, this shot flew very low.
At the 16th, Lydia Ko for birdie to get within 1. Oh. Two back with a couple to play for Lydia.
Checking with Jennifer Kupcho. 4 over for the day.
Ouch, 4 hybrid here. Not a hole you can force one close.
Whoa.
Left. Slightly.
Well, I think our tracer was slightly off. It looked like it was down the gallery ropes.
I was wondering what you guys are reacting to.
I thought she was going to have to shout 4 in a minute, but it was actually right on line. Sometimes technology doesn't quite work like we thought it would. Now Nelly.
6-iron as well. That's on a great line if it gets there.
Oh, the little spin of the club usually indicates she loves it. Oh, it just took a big first hop. That is unfortunate. Well, Jerry was talking about it. There's not a lot of room if you go at the flag, but I didn't think that shot deserved that sort of result. Wow, that was all over it. She won't know where that's finished up. Probably wondering why there wasn't more of a cheer from the gallery up by the green. So Nelly and Lexi locked in a battle. And right now there's not a lot to separate these two. Lexi Thompson trying to win for the first time since the summer of 2019. It has been a year for Nelly Korda. She's looking for her 4th LPGA victory.
Going to Vegas.
Back at the 15th, Nelly Korda chipping from behind the green.
Very tight lie into the green. It is a slight uphill lie, but I have never, Judy, never seen Nelly struggle with the contact on this type of chip. Interesting play, and well done.
It wasn't far away, was it?
Well, to some degree, she got robbed with her shot to the green. Just hit in a very hard spot or whatever, but as high as she hits the ball, you just don't expect that.
She missed the flat portion of the green just past the downslope by maybe 5 or 6 inches, Judy. Landed right on the downslope.
One of the great stories of the week has been third-year player out of the University of Virginia, Lauren Coughlin, had to Monday qualify just to get in. Only the top 100 at the end of the week will keep their tour cards for next year. She came in 106th. Monday qualified her way in and hits a beauty here at the 18th.
Heck of a shot.
Even for her day today, tied for 18th, she is projected to move inside the top 100.
And Stephanie Meadow, we talked about earlier, she is locked on the 100 spot at the moment. So it's good news for Stephanie, but not good news, I'm afraid, for Nicole Brock Estrup, who came in that spot and has fallen outside. She's fallen to 102. Now Kupcho from behind the green.
Different shot. She was able to make that choice to putt it. Nelly was not.
And she'll give Nelly a nice read on the next one.
Long putt here for Lexi. Looks like a bit of a change in the grain halfway through, Jerry.
Very much so, but a cupcake compared to the one at 10. This one, it is into the grain uphill the first half, and then it's downhill, grain down and to the left the second half. It's pretty speedy, that second half.
You know, when we get a big look at the golf course like we had just a minute ago, remember that there's been golf on this property for almost 100 years. And it is generally, you know, an older neighborhood, and it's just very friendly, very pretty, and I guess it's the kind of golf course. The greens are very challenging, and the greens are going to get you a little crazy from time to time, but you wouldn't get bored playing golf here.
Back in 1926, Donald Ross needed a crew of 100 men and 35 teams of mules to get this property into a state to be able to play golf on. They used dynamite to create a course that was promoted as a marvel of landscaping and beauty.
How many mules makes a team?
I'm not sure.
We're working
20.
on that.
20 mule team Borax. I remember that.
We've lost it. All right, this is all about touch here.
It's turning quite a bit there. So
Yes.
not one that she could be too aggressive with.
Speed was pretty good. A little bit of work.
Lexi did take the lead after the third hole today. She made birdie, took a one-shot lead, but then Nelly birdied the fourth to tie it up.
Now Lauren Coughlin finishing up. Just a few days ago played in an event against some professional men at the No Laying Up event. Won it and has carried it over here to the Pelican Women's Championship. And Lauren Coughlin has punched her ticket, it would appear, back to the LPGA Tour in 2022. Well done.
Now Kupcho for par.
Well, she saw what I did going past. Should know pretty comfortably. It just moves a little left.
Okay. Yeah, she'll be bitterly disappointed. Yeah, okay.
Or it's like a match play strategy.
All right.
You know, if you play first to the
Shot.
green,
Sticking close here.
put some pressure on.
Birdied yesterday after a bogey.
143 hole slide downhill lie. Win.
No. Give it a second. It's just a big gust coming through. Well, it's 140 right now. It's probably way close.
No, I know that.
No, that's the one. Yep. Trust it.
Wind whipping, like she said, a big gust coming through her. Will did from the left, but mostly behind her. Going with 9-iron. That's plenty. Not convinced it's right now. if it's the right club, it's going to be good. Just right of the hole.
It is the right club, and it is certainly in that very makeable range.
It'll be a very short second coming up for Nelly Korda. But first, we go to the 18th, and a third shot for Jin Young Ko. Tied for 5th at the moment. And again, it's all about the top 10s when you're trying to win the Rolex Player of the Year, which she leads at the moment by 15 points over Nelly Korda. Should Nelly win today, she'll go past Jin Young, and then it depends on where Jin Young finishes to see what her deficit will be going in to next week in the season finale. Lexi's on the green, has about 20 feet for birdie, if that. And now Nelly.
82 yards slide uphill line, going with the sandwich, just a little modified lengthy pitch shot here. What a drive.
Yeah, she's got the club full length, but probably a little shorter swing. There you go.
Can't take advantage of the huge distance off that tee shot. Birdie putts for our leaders in a moment. They began the day tied for the lead. They remain tied. Nelly Korda and Lexi Thompson. Nelly trying to win for the 4th time this season. Lexi Thompson trying to win for the first time in 2+ years. A couple of Florida girls, families heavily involved in their careers and their lives, close knit, out here watching them, cheering them on. Is Lexi first to go here, Jerry?
If they've decided. I didn't see it because they are looking equidistant to me, but based on Jessica's body language, yes, Lexi's going to go first. Excuse me, Nelly's. That's not the first nor the last time I will or we will make that mistake. This one turning a little right, it looks like. Downhill, down green for Lexi. Not a lot of break, though.
Averaging just 26 putts these first 3 days. She's been brilliant, making birdies, but also a couple of huge 2 putts from long range. And now Nelly to take the lead back.
Just a little turn to the left, depending on the speed.
Drove Lexi by 60 yards. Unable to cash it into a birdie. Tap in par, stays 19 under. Battling Jin Young Ko for Rolex Player of the Year honors. Huge for prestige, but also it's a Hall of Fame point. Jin Young Ko for par. So she's going to drop a shot down into a tie for 8th, which is worth 3 points in the Rolex race. Comes down to what Nelly does here in the next couple of holes. One Tree Island out there in Clearwater Harbor. One player will emerge victorious today at the Pelican Women's Championship. Is it Nelly? Is it Lexi? We're going to find out.
And now they're on the tee at the 17th.
Pretty much dead into the teeth of it here. It's about a 238, 240 carry over that left fairway bunker. Probably wouldn't be an issue, but not a given with this wind. right fairway bunker is completely out of reach and is the ideal target line.
Yeah, a lot of room up the right. You can see bunkers there that Jerry was referencing, clustered down the left. Just something putting her off there. Yeah. The breeze gusting up a little bit.
So she can hear something. I guess it's getting stronger.
Yeah, good look down there at the lower left at that fairway.
Now she's ready to go. .304 to that right bunker.
Good.
Yeah, very good.
Big T rhythm, mostly just straight in, bud.
Yeah, perfect trajectory into the wind.
.16th green there, and the tee basically part of the green complex right over the green. Now Nelly.
Going a little right.
Yeah.
A lot of room. Just a longer shot.
Yeah, there's a ton of room out there. She had a similar drive to that yesterday at 13. Got away with it. There was no issue. And same here at the 17. It's the beauty of this golf course. There's a lot of room off the tee. Let's go to 18.
And Lydia Ko got to at least birdie to have a chance to win it. It's a tough hole. It's the toughest on the course. Oh, and a beauty. No guarantee of what these two will do on 17 or 18.
Right. The hole at 18 in the far back right of the green, and it's going to be challenging for everybody coming up.
Lydia Ko snapped a 3-year winless drought back in April. Lexi trying to snap one of her own that goes back to the summer of 2019. She remains tied with Nelly Korda, world number 1.
Looking over from the left side of the green, you can see heavily bunkered on the left. And today the flag tucked back left, playing a little more difficult than it was yesterday when they moved the tee up, and they had just one bogey here yesterday all day. It shouldn't be an issue for Nelly.
No downside for this tee shot out to the right. 21 yards farther to the hole than Lexi has, but from this angle there's a little more depth to the green. Now it's a very shallow green, so not that much more, but yeah, a little more depth. 117 and just chipping a 9-iron. That looked left.
Riding the wind there, and that is a huge mistake from Nelly Korda. You would never have thought that was coming. And that has run underneath our spider tower there where the camera sits. I'm not sure if it's come out behind the camera tower, but it's a long way left, and there's not a lot of green there. Wow, huge unforced error from Nelly. Let's go to 18.
Lydia Ko to post 18 under. She's going to come up short, it would appear, in terms of winning this event, but she moves one step closer to winning the Vare Trophy for the lowest scoring average in the season. She has the lowest average among those who are going to get to 70 rounds. She needs one more round to qualify, and that would give her one more point toward the LPGA Hall of Fame. It would give her 20 of the 27 points she needs. Still has a couple of more years before she has that 10-year minimum.
Now Lexi, having just seen Nelly make a huge mistake.
Nelly knew it when she hit it. Just tried chipping that 9-iron and hit the trap pole. Horrible time for that. 96 yards for Lexi. One of her 2 gap wedges here.
I don't think Nellie's going to know what a horrible time it was for that till she sees the shot she has to play.
Yeah.
She may well have been much better off going into the bunker there. It was unfortunate it ran right through the middle of the bunkers. It's tough to tell how far left it's gone.
Stick one there.
See if we can take a look. Okay, there's the shot she's facing.
My view says this is about as hard as it gets.
Now Lexi.
Wind gusting again. Weak River 2 gap wedges. This will have some spin on it. And that's pulled as well.
Oh no, it's not going to miss the green, is it? It's okay. Wasn't far away. One hop to the left, and that could have caught the downslope.
That was one of those where she really takes that deep divot, and you feel like the club never totally comes through the impact area. Haven't seen so many of those this week.
But Lexi's going to have a putt for birdie, and Nellie is going to have her work cut out to save par from down there. Let's take a look at the swing, which led to that second shot.
Well, she's trying to, as Jerry said, chip a 9-iron. So she's trying to hit a little 3/4 9-iron. And maybe what happens is she doesn't have any speed through the impact area. The club is slowing down. And if the club face slows down, the club face turns over. So you get the ball started to the left and then it moves left.
We've talked about it all week. The surrounds of these greens are really, really tight. And it's something that these players have worked on. The chipping and pitching green around by the clubhouse has similar shots to this, so they would have been able to practice all week. Now really under pressure. And Jerry, have you had a chance to get up there and have a look?
She did quickly, as she's known to do, but trying to hit a lob shot off this grass is mown actually, Tom, a little bit tighter than the fairway height, so it is just a zero margin for error trying to hit a lob shot. Yes. And not an uphill lie.
And she's going to open that blade.
Nope.
It can make you look very, very foolish playing off this grass, and there is a prime example. Best player in the world right now. I did not see this coming from Nellie. The second shot putting in all sorts of trouble. When you don't commit to it, Judy, that can happen.
Yeah, you know, now you wonder after the fact. Could she have just bump and run it up that little alleyway and made sure she had a 15-foot putt for the par? I don't know.
She could have, yes, no question, and left it center of the green, depending on how far past she hit it. Yes, was an option, but
I'm going to tell you what, this rattles you.
Well, this is not easy either. Just slide uphill lie, very little green to work with, and it slopes away downwind.
Just put off by a phone there, I believe.
Off, please. Thank you.
That is the worst timing. Needs a really good one. A world #1 shot here, Jerry.
Yeah, she has no choice but to try it. You have to get cute, but she has to.
Oh, it's pretty good there. And a chance to save bogey. That's just how difficult it was. Running away.
What does this say, Tom? It doesn't have to be a long hole to be a tester?
Yeah, a little bit of breeze to protect the golf course, and that's exactly what we had there with those second shots. And he hit one just offline, accentuated by the breeze. Let's go to 18.
And the defending champ, Se Young Kim.
Has 160 back into this breeze. Took a drive down that right side to take advantage of her length. This is well struck. It's on a good line.
We've seen her hold it from the fairway before. It was at the Lotte Championship to beat NB Park in a playoff, a rookie year. Would have had to have holed that to have a chance.
Jennifer Kupcho has this for birdie at 17.
Yeah, up the hill, turning right at the end quite a bit.
This kind of sums up Jennifer Kupcho's day. She's 5 over par for the round, which unfortunately ties her for the worst score of the day.
Yeah.
Has had a front row seat for this battle between Nelly and Lexi. She would have very much have been wanting to be part of that battle.
Right?
Yes.
I think she would have expected to be, don't you,
Yeah.
Tom?
Started the day 1 back. And she now finds herself 9 behind. So Lexi's going to go first here. And this will, if this goes in, Jerry, a massive moment for Lexi.
Yeah, but this is a defensive effort the entire way. Halfway there, it hits a little, almost mini cliff, if you will, on this green. And see the change in the grain. It's going to swing right and get fast. You miss this low with a little speed, and a 2-putt is far from a given.
Would you play for the 2-putt?
You try and die this on the top lip. Keep it high of the hole if you can, I think. I know the best of these putts that I've seen in ages is Lydia Ko, and it always is just around that top lip.
This could be the tournament right here. A little too much speed.
Yeah.
And not dead yet. Almost like a match play battle now.
Oh, it absolutely is.
And Nelly with a putt to save bogey.
And just uphill, a little bit on the slow side. Not a ton of break at all.
Well, just would never have imagined that. Nelly Korda is going to make at least a double bogey here at the 17th. 4 bogeys for the week coming into this hole. No double bogeys on the card. And Nelly may have thrown away the Pelican Women's Championship here at the 17th.
Yeah, I want to try to tell you how you're sinking inside, how everything that you've been holding control of inside of you, in your heart and in your stomach, has just flipped over.
Well, I have not seen any anxiety in this putting stroke coming down the stretch yet today out of Lexi.
Just a little downhill.
Not really. No, it's just turning left. Pretty flat.
I've seen putts just snap on this green this week. Right at the hole. Wow. That one didn't snap back in the hole.
Yeah, it's happened to her so often. She pushed it a fraction.
So Lexi with the drop shot. Gives Nelly some hope there. And these two players who've played so well all week have come unstuck at the 17th. Just needs to clean this one up, and she will be 1 behind heading to the 18th tee.
Oh
my goodness me. That is unthinkable from Nelly Korda. Triple bogey, and Nelly drops 2 shots back. Everything just went horribly wrong. This one from Lexi, and Nelly missing this short one. I mean, you just can't believe it. Shocking, absolutely shocking. And Lexi has a one-shot lead heading to the 72nd hole.
Do not adjust your set. It's an absolute shocker in the Sunshine State. Nelly Korda with a triple bogey 7 at the par 4 17th. Lexi Thompson a 3-putt bogey. And the lead is 1 for Lexi Thompson over Lydia Ko, and it could be 1 over Se-Young Kim. This for birdie at the 18th.
Uphill, slow putt.
Good putt.
Wow.
Se-Young joins Lydia Ko at 17 under, 1 shot behind Lexi Thompson, who will play this toughest hole on the course, the par 4 18th. A par or better to win it for Lexi. This was a moment ago on the tee.
Into the wind. And the striped.
Beautiful.
And now Nelly Korda, 2 back.
Has to be shaken. Couldn't tell by that swing.
No, that was a beauty. I know she's heartbroken, but you're trying your best to try your best for another 10 minutes.
Par putt for Christina Kim. She missed Monday qualifying by 1. And then an hour or so later, she was on the practice tee trying to get some work in. Got the call that she had been given a sponsor's invitation. Takes advantage despite the tough Sunday. 98th in the race to the CME Globe when the week began. She's going to keep her card. The 19-year veteran will play for a 20th year next year. That was a moment ago. The green at the 18th is clear. Now Lexi's head, is it clear? We talked about working on the mental side of the game. She had the 5-shot lead with 8 holes to play at the U.S. Women's Open. Couldn't finish. A par or better here puts her back in the winner's circle for the first time in 2 years.
Leads the tour in greens in regulation. Needs a huge one here. 6-iron. 160 yards to the hole. That's pulled. Usually goes long when you do that.
She's going to have one more long lag putt or pitch with a tournament hanging in the balance.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, putt or pitch. I would have to think it's the putter, but Nelly.
This could be huge.
4 yards closer with a 7-iron. That's on a good line if it's the club.
It's another beauty.
Yeah, good shot, Nelly.
Birdied this hole yesterday. 17 under is the best score posted. Nelly will have that to get to 17 under, and Lexi Thompson needs an up and down to get back into the winner's circle on the LPGA Tour.
Let's identify where your line of play, new line of play would be.
Crowd gathering around the 18th. Lexi Thompson has a 3rd shot from off the back of the green. She gets it up and down. She wins in regulation. If she doesn't, we're going to play extra holes.
We're looking for kind of in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Getting the 2-and-2 ruling here, what the players refer to it as. If you're within 2 club lengths of the sprinkler heads and they're within 2 club lengths of the green and they are in any way in your intended line of play, which is a rarity in the rules of golf, you do get relief. And then with the new rules changes, it used to be just this, where she put that tee down. Now you get 1 club length within which to drop, or 1 club length relief area on either side. And she's going to get it right to the edge of the green. Doesn't make it a whole lot easier. Takes out just a hair bit of that slope she has to putt over, and that is the most sizable slope on any of the greens out here.
And no funny bounces. It settled pretty quickly.
Once it gets to the crest of that ridge, how fast will it be?
Well, it's not one that you would say can't be left short, but it would be really, really difficult to get it over that ridge and leave it short. And leaving this in a stress-free par tap-in area is about I'd give it maybe a 5% chance.
A 3-putt bogey at the 17th. A triple bogey for Nelly Korda at that 17th. It has brought Lydia Ko and Se Young Kim back into the tournament. What a scene around the 18th hole at Pelican Golf Club, the Pelican Women's Championship. Down to the wire with Lexi Thompson. Just over the green, she's gotten relief on the sprinkler heads that were in her intended line. If she gets up and down, she wins. If not, we've got extra holes, and Nelly Korda is waiting in case Lexi can't get this up and down for par. Jerry, what do you think?
It's unlikely she won't have to work for the par on the second putt. This is so very, very difficult to cozy up there. It's going to break right a ton. She's aiming this. Well, initial line looks to be about 12 feet left of the hole. It'll start moving right, just barely crest that hill, and then release on down to the right to the hole, leaving it short on that tier, nearly impossible.
Comes. And for Lexi Thompson, a short putt to win for the first time in her last 40 starts, the longest drought of her 10-year LPGA career.
What's a number for that short putt, Jerry? 4 feet, 5 feet?
Yeah, it's more than 4, but not much. Yeah, and it's a left-to-righter. No fun.
What might Jennifer Kupcho have learned from this day, watching two of the world's best?
I'm not sure when you get beat up what you've learned.
And to compound it, she hit it in the fairway bunker, chunked a hybrid out of there into the water. This is for bogey.
I know she has, this isn't something she's learned. This is what she already knew. You have got to learn to be able to perform on these kind of days when you get opportunities. When you've played so well all week, and now you're exactly where you want to be on Sunday. But some players are learn that quicker than others. Some players, you know, have that ability right off. She'll be okay.
This to join Lydia Ko and Se Young Kim in second at 17 under for Nelly Korda.
Good stroke.
What a bounce back.
What a putt.
After a triple bogey at 17, Nelly Korda buries the birdie at the 18th, the toughest hole on the course, and world number 1 still has the slightest bit of hope.
Yeah, so that didn't fix it for Nelly, but it was everything she could do.
Kupcho is going to finish up here before Nelly, before Lexi. That's for par. That's the mark of Lexi over there. Our second of the day. And Judy, for a decade we've watched Lexi Thompson Played dominant golf on the LPGA Tour. She's won 11 times. She hits it prodigious lengths, but so much of her career has been defined in this range. A short putt. If she makes it, she wins. If not, we're going overtime. And there's an interested spectator. One of those at 17 under, Lydia Ko.
And what you hope for Lexi Thompson right now is that she's not thinking about any of those other times that might be in some people's memory, but only about how good she stroked the ball this week.
So Kim is watching. She's also in the group at 17 under. Jerry, so many great lag putts and 2 putts today for Lexi.
There's no question she's nervous right now. She needs to calm herself and hit the best 4-foot slider of her life, or at least in recent memory. She's done it all week.
That's not in.
Maybe came out of it just a tiny fraction, a little early. But for a putt of that length, you couldn't really leave yourself a tougher one.
This to make it a 4-way playoff that we never could have imagined 30 minutes ago. When Nelly and Lexi were 19 under. We're going to keep playing.
We're going to do a sudden death playoff. The order of the holes is going to be 18, 18, 10, 18, repeated if necessary. I've got 4 cards here. The order of the pick for the draw to determine who goes first is going to go Lydia, Se Young, Nelly, and then Lexi. Then you just yep.
Oh, it's a 4.
Yeah, 4? Okay.
I could see there's lots of lines. I have 1. Good luck.
Great.
Se Young and Nelly birdied this 18th just moments ago. Lydia parted. Lexi made bogey.
Cart path. More cart path. You're on the grass. Cart path. Thank you.
Well,
please.
Karen Stupples is going to follow Se Young.
I've got to say, if any future golfer that has aspirations of playing at high level and playing to win, if there is a lesson to be learnt from this, the lesson is it's never over till it's fully over. You have to keep fighting for every single one of those shots because you never know when it's going to matter, and here we are. I didn't for 1 minute think that I'd be standing out here watching Se Young Kim and Lydia Ko in this playoff.
Not only is Se Young 4-0 in playoffs, she's won with at least a birdie on each occasion. And it's happened on the first extra hole each time. One time, she holed out from the fairway to beat NB Park at the Lotte Championship.
Just remembering that.
And chipped in from off the front of the green to even get into that playoff.
She did indeed. It's a rookie year.
It's going left. We get the bunker.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a miss. I'm pretty sure that ball came into the bunker, and it's certainly playable, but
not where you want to be.
Major task, much bigger.
Jerry is going to follow the 2 he followed all day, Lexi Thompson and Nelly Korda.
Lexi with an 0-3 record in playoffs, and it's such a huge hill to climb, Judy, when you were the one who really feels like you gave it away in a playoff to be victorious. But, like you mentioned, she suffered more disappointing losses than anybody I know of. Can she turn it around this time?
Maybe so. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely powdered.
Yeah, every indication would be Lydia Ko would play first to this green, but how Se-Young Kim in the bunker plays into that, I'm not sure.
Now Nelly.
Huge birdie. Great iron shot in. Great putt to be here right now. Coming off the heels of a triple. That takes heart.
Heart, composure, guts.
And the talent's pretty high, too. Oh, we got no roll on that, but what a great drive.
Well, Se-Young Kim's ball is a little bit closer to the lip than she would like, actually, for her second shot.
Karen Lydia's got stronger in the last year and a half.
She has. It's one of those things that she has been working on. But I think she's made a bit of a transformation with her game, and it's good to see her back to winning again. I think she's one of the most popular figures at the top of the leaderboard that we see.
Yeah, she's kind of back to the teenager that we knew and loved.
And that's nice.
Just 24 years old, former #1 in the world. She was outside the top 50 when the LPGA restarted last August. And a win for the second time. 4 superstars battling it out on the first extra hole at the Pelican Women's Championship. Four-way playoff at the Pelican Women's Championship, the next to last event on 2021 LPGA calendar. 3 in the fairway, 1 in the bunker, and that is Se-Young Kim. And Karen Stupples is following her. You said it was a little closer to the lip than she would like, Karen.
It is. She's got 172. The ball will be below her feet. She is on a slight upslope, but that's a steep lip. I don't know if into this wind, I don't think she can take on that flag for sure. I think at very best she might be able to get to the front left side of this green, but with the ball below her feet, it's just a difficult shot in general. The more to the right she aims, the lower the lip is. So by playing safe and out to the left, the lip gets higher. If she tackles on the flag, the lip is lower, but it's a really difficult shot.
What do you do here, Judy? Do you play for the par and hope the others don't birdie?
Well, I'm not sure. You need some great execution here. What decision you're going to make, I'm not sure. I think people can see this green. It is enormous from left to right. And because it's angled, because the left is closer to the player than the right, there's plenty of depth there, although we have seen a lot of shots played from just over the back of this green. But this is all about what club she chooses and how quickly she can get the ball in the air. If she can get it in the air quickly, you would take on that hole location, maybe with some lofted hybrid or something, but iron in her hand, and Karen, I can't call this one.
No, that was a 6-iron that she pulled out too, so into this cold breeze, that's not enough club to take it at that flag.
That is leave me a 40-foot putt if I can strike this well.
I mean, with the ball below her feet, I mean, the chances are she's going to pick this one a little bit cleaner.
And Karen, it is way below her feet, is it not?
It is. It's a good way below.
How about the lie? Looking at it up close.
It's pretty good. There's no problem with that.
Okay.
Let us just say this is a difficult shot if you're playing by yourself on Tuesday.
No question about it, Judy. You know, I mean, that you have to think that Paul Fusco, who's an experienced caddy, he knows that this is not easy.
Instead,
she's such an aggressive player, though. It's really hard to kind of rein her in.
You're right, Karen. You've noted her scrambling numbers often aren't toward the top of the LPGA, and you noted because she goes for so many pins.
Exactly. She's short-sighted probably more than anybody because of that.
Yeah, there's a label for some players, and they are called pin seekers. And even when you know you should play away from the flag stick, you just can't.
She's a green seeker at this point.
This ball is quite far forward in her stance. Well, she picked it cleanly.
Sounded good.
That's a seriously good shot.
Wow. Be a tough third.
Yeah, she's got a seriously hard one now, but she couldn't have struck it any better.
That sounded great, didn't it? All right. The other three in the fairway. Lydia here.
Lydia's got 157. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better lie or better angle, really, from this right side here. But it's been a while since she was on this hole, and it's been a while since she's been on this golf course. Nicely controlled ball flight there.
Just release. You've got one of the best short games in all of golf, men or women. She'll need it there. All right, Nelly next.
153 7-iron in regulation, 7-iron here. Wind not as strong as it was half hour ago, but she had a long wait. She doesn't like those. Picked it very cleanly, just right of the hole.
Not far from where she made it in regulation.
Putt, yeah.
She bounces back from a triple bogey at the 17th to make birdie and join this playoff when Lexi missed her par putt.
World class to birdie the final hole and get in this playoff.
From the world #1. And now Lexi.
21 yards closer with that drive than she was in regulation. Maybe a little bit of heat on it. 139 to the hole.
Our caddy does all the yardage book work. She takes the information and tries to feel it.
Should be coming. Okay, just a fraction off the road.
All right, see your shot. Stick it up there.
Should be a nice standard stock one.
She's taken her lumps through the years and fought back every time.
Hold just a little bit, turning left.
It's the proper side, though.
Barely.
What a shot from Lexi Thompson.
She knows what this putt does.
Nelly and Lexi will have nearly identical putts to what they had in regulation. Nelly made it, Lexi missed it. We've got the shots from off the green from Se Young and Lydia. Don't go away. The playoff continues. Two putts for birdie, two shots from behind the green. Lexi Thompson is the closest. And who goes first among those who missed? Is it Se Young, Karen?
It is Se Young Kim. And nothing easy about this shot at all. Obviously, she's got to hit it up over that little lump there. It's going to land on a big downslope. And you can see from the practice swing, she's going for a big sort of, trying to get a big flop shot off and away. She doesn't have a lob wedge. It's just a sand wedge, so she's going to have to open this up and use the bounce. I actually think that's a little bit of an advantage for her, because this club won't dig as much as a lob wedge will. But this requires guts. How about that? How about that?
Oh, wow.
Was that ever sweet?
Gutsy. From the black belt in martial arts, Se Young Kim.
I almost have no words for how good that is.
Look at this. It's a huge swing, Karen.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's only a tournament on the line. But the two shots she's had here from the fairway bunker and then that. Now, don't think this does doesn't have a great chance to go in.
Short game magician right here. Doesn't have that big slope, but this still will be quick.
Is it enough? A Sunday evening scramble here. Par putts coming up for Lydia Ko and Se Young Kim. The door is open for Nelly Korda and Lexi Thompson. How about this foursome? All major champions, all in the top 13 in the Rolex rankings. And they got here in very different ways. And Nelly with a chance to put the pressure on Lexi.
Identical line in regulation, maybe 2, possibly 3 feet longer in distance.
She's done it again.
I am so impressed the way she has come back from utter disaster.
Lydia Ko and Se Young Kim are out. And Lexi Thompson is faced with a slightly longer version of the putt that she just missed for par that would have won it in regulation. She has to make to force an extra playoff hole. Just slightly longer.
Nearly identical line, maybe a few inches closer to the front of the green. The next putt doesn't matter, though.
I have to think that this time around, the last thing we would see Lexi do is miss it on the low side.
Her hand marking the ball was much more steady than in regulation.
A stunner. Nelly Korda, world #1, wins for the 4th time this season and takes the lead in the Rolex Player of the Year race with 1 event to go. A triple-double. Triple bogey at 17, birdie at 18, and a playoff victory.
Way to finish that out! So funny!
And a hug from sister Jessica. Jerry Foltz is there with our champion.
Oh, yep, and we're all getting a little champagne shower here. That smells pretty good. Sorry about that. Nelly, what did you tell yourself on the 18th tee in regulation?
Just keep my head up. I honestly kind of lost faith. I was like, okay, like, you know, time to focus on next week in a sense. And I just found myself probably the best putt. I had it 2 times in a row and rolled it in really nicely.
In a playoff with everything at stake, having that putt again, was that maybe the most confident you've been in the most pressure-packed situation on that putt?
Yeah, for sure. I knew what it was doing. It was moving a little left to right. You know, I gave myself a lot of opportunities this week. My putting probably wasn't the best, but pulled it off with it, so that's what counts.
All right, congratulations. Very, very well done.
Thank you.
Jubilation for Nelly Korda and heartbreak, Judy, for Lexi Thompson.
Yeah, and I could see it in Lexi's face with that last hug. I think she has kept her head up tremendously well, as you said, through a lot of bumps over the years. And she's playing as good a golf as she's ever played in her life. So, you know, you got one more chance just south of here.
Yeah, and she's won there before down at Tiburon. What a great week it's been. And it concluded with 4 of the best in the world going head to head, to head to head. And Nelly Korda emerged victorious with a birdie on the first playoff hole. World number 1 wins for the 4th time and takes the lead in the race to the CME Globe. Actually still trails Jin Young Ko in that race, but takes the lead in the Rolex Player of the Year race. Moves back in front of Jin Young in that category with 1 event to go. Next week at the CME Group Tour Championship, it's all about who can win in that field of 60. So Jenny Coleman hangs in, and Mitali does as well. No movement in that top 62 with Inbi and Shanshan not playing. We've been led all week, as we've been for the last 15 years, by our pioneering producer, Beth Hutter, our director, Pete Esposito. For Judy Rankin, Tom Abbott, Karen Stupples, Jerry Foltz, and our entire team, I'm Grant Boone. Congratulations to world number 1, Nelly Korda, in 7th heaven after her 7th win.